Hello everyone, this is Arafellin playing something called Zeux's World. It was written in the Verge engine, so you would expect it to be a top-down Final Fantasy style 2D role-playing game. It's not. It's not even close. Yes, weirdly enough, this is actually a platformer. Okay, there it goes. You have a nice title screen here with some weird music. The music is all sourced from, open source or freely usable, whatever. I'll be including credits in the descriptions because those are in some of the stuff that's... I think some weird not responding stuff going on there. Maybe it's just taking a bit to load. Anyway, this was written in Verge 2. Originally the DOS version was eventually ported to the Windows version, which this is running on, and it's still working just fine. It plays a lot like a Mario game. It has a lot that seems to be based on Super Mario World. There's some assets that seem to be based on other platformer games, which we'll see in due time. And we have our little generic smiley face guy, turned into a platformer protagonist with little arms, eyes that move up and down. As you saw in the intro, the intro is based on pretty much ASCII graphics, which is really text. But if you watch some of the earlier games I played on this channel, there was something called Kingdom of Kroz, one of Apogee's earlier games, if not the earliest, which was basically an adventure game done in text mode. And the character used the little smiley face from ANSI text. There was a later thing called ZZT from Epic Mega Games that was kind of the same sort of things. And then someone made an independent engine for game creation called MegaZeux. And the intro and some of the story for this is apparently based on a game made in MegaZeux called The Caverns of Zeux, I believe. So that's where the Zeux name comes from. That's where some of the weird storyline with the evil wizard and whatever comes from. As you can see, we have fairly typical Mario type of stuff going on here with blocks that have coins and things in them. You have some hidden platforms. You have lives. One thing that is not particularly Mario-like is your character has health, which I just accidentally demonstrated there. In the top left, you have a little smiley face thing that represents him. The more smiley that is, the more health you have. The less smiley it is, the closer you are to dying of damage. That thing that swirled around there was an extra life. Lives are shown under the smiley face. Of course, you want as many as you can. And I failed to jump there, which is never a good thing in a platformer. But no big deal. If you die, you lose life, and your health is reset to the normal starting amount, so the smiley face is a little smilier. There. Now, this is a game I've played through several times, and I kind of wanted an excuse to play it again. Also, I haven't been able to find any playthroughs of it on YouTube or elsewhere, which I was kind of surprised at, and it's kind of disappointing, so thought I'd try to fill in that little gap in games that have been played. And you can't go from there, you have to go from this block, which I did a few times earlier with no problem. I got up there earlier. Right there. He's just a little finicky about doing that to the right. Anyway, I am playing with a gamepad, which I'm not as used to doing. Originally played with the keyboard. But the controls are pretty much the same regardless. You have a button or up to jump. If you have it in gamepad mode, up does not jump. So that's just the button to jump. I'm having a little trouble with jumping to the right, apparently. I'm not sure if that's a gamepad thing or if it's a me thing. Anyway, you get to the end of the stage, there's a little sign. You jump into the sign, you clear the stage. It gives you a rating based on how many coins and gems you count. If you got them all, you get a little spinning exclamation point in the bottom right there. Kind of reminds me of Donkey Kong Country like that, except it's not bonus rounds, it's just coins and gems. Coins, like in Mario, you get 100, you get an extra life. Gems you can spend on various, there are shops where you can buy things. So, sort of like Mario 3, except that you have to pay for this stuff. I missed some coins up there, so I'm not getting the 100% this time. Hearts give you health. If you are at what's normally your full health, there is an extra stage above that, where the smiley gets even smilier with the cool shades and the grin. So there's an extra new enemy type there. There's running ball things that just rush by at high speed. You can jump on those if your timing is good. And especially if you're in a little confined place like this, it makes it easier. Pouches give you a quantity of gems and coins. I think it's randomized. That's just a gem there. And this exclamation point here. Oh, first, there's this see-through block here. That needs to be activated. That's a thing that kind of reminds me of Super Mario World. Except, as I recall, it's not switch palaces, but beating certain bosses that does it. I'm not certain of that. I'll have to check in on that later. Anyway, I did miss some things there. Coins, gems, whatever. There's a spinny thing in the corner that looks like the exit to indicate that I've cleared the level, but have not 100%ed the level. Also, the dot is red rather than yellow to indicate there is a second exit. Again, that's like Super Mario World. I'll come back through, try to get everything. I won't try to do that with every level necessarily, especially since I don't remember what exactly 100%ing does for you. If it turns about to be important, I'll come back and gather things later. There's health again. Oh, also, once you clear the level, you can press escape on the pause screen to exit back to the map without penalty. Kind of like Start Select in Mario. If you have not completed the level... Okay. Can I do that on the gamepad? I can pause from the gamepad, I don't seem to be able to exit. Or maybe you need to press it twice in rapid succession? No? Okay, so apparently I do need to use the keyboard to do that. We're back up to maximum health, the actual maximum. On your pause screen, you'll notice it shows you how many coins and gems you found out of what the level has, which is useful if you're going for completion. There are also 4 boxes across the top. You do have an inventory. Certain items can be stored and used later. Along the bottom, there's a row of Z's. We'll get to those later. They do turn out to be important. Now, you may remember this level has a secret exit, and at the end of the stage there was a thing we hit that made all the blocks fall. So I'm going to be breaking some of the blocks, but not too many of them, to give us a path back to this block here. Okay. I think, do those respawn? Can't remember. Okay. I do want to get that now, because with the bricks falling it will be difficult or impossible to get later. Wait for this to come back, try to bop them. Didn't work. Having the blocks overhead makes those easier to hit, because you don't jump aside, you come right back down. And the hidden block there with the gem that we'll need if we want 100% completion for this stage. Yeah, controls are pretty good. Excuse me. Controls are pretty good. There's some room for improvement, but no, they work fine, especially considering this is not meant to be a platformer engine. I seem to be missing a gem oh, this one, right. There we go. That's all the gems, all the coins. Just need to finish the stage. This had another one up. I'll take it. Lives are not at a premium yet, but they could become an issue later on. Hit that. It lowers that thing there, which should let us jump up and go over. Had a little bit of not respawning there. It's possible the game is having little issues with the recording. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be bad enough to be an actual problem, so I'll just ignore it. That goes harmlessly by overhead if you don't jump into it. You can jump over here, and here's a question mark sign that indicates a secret exit. 100%, overall 100%. And yeah, this has been the first 2 stages of Grasslands. Next time I'll continue with Grasslands and probably get to the beginning of the next world. And yeah, this is kind of exciting. I'm starting my first real playthrough of a full-length game. Yeah, come back next time for more Zeux's World. This has been ARFLN.